Yep, the first mock discussion we are going to have in the class, obviously. Now, few takeaways from the mock. I have written these percentiles only for your understanding, but trust me, if you ask me how should you be analyzing the mock, I would rather say you should not be taking percentile to your head. To me, any mock that you write, since this is, I am taking a class today instead of yesterday, right? So I would rather give an orientation of the overall mock. What is mock all about? To me, mock is all about finding your loopholes. Mock is not about finding how much percentile you are scoring. Clear? For multiple reasons. First reason, we are sitting in the month of June. I'm sure a lot of you might not be regular with your preparation and so on, so on, so on. So once you are regular with the preparation, there is a possibility of scores to increase. Let me give you another viewpoint of it. Let me give you another viewpoint of it. Now, if you think that you prepare, your score will improve, please understand with time going forward, even others will also prepare. There's every possibility even their score will improve. Your score is improving, their score is improving. There might not be a change in percentile. Vis-a-vis, you are improving, others might not improve. Right? So a lot of XYZ parameters are there on the surface itself. When I dig deeper, your percentile is a combination of, let's say, some certain level of RCs which have come in this examination from certain genres. Certain level of parajumbles have come from certain genres. Certain LRDI have come from certain areas. So is quant. Now, I would say you should be taking this score into your head only if this kind of paper is exactly repeating in the main examination. Clear? Only then I can assume that, okay, this kind of performance might replicate. So your 90 or 10 or 25 or 50 does not make a huge difference. So to me, mocks should not be taken into your head, especially in the form of percentiles. So you get a low score. What is an indication? That means you're not able to optimize the easy questions given in the examination. That is what we'll be discussing in today's class also. What would be those easy questions that you should have definitely picked up and you should have definitely tried to solve it? Now that might vary. Now there was one question on cone. If somebody knows the curved surface area of cone, that question becomes easy for you. At the same time, somebody thinks I do not know ABC of cone. Then those 3 marks might not be applicable to you. But in case if somebody knows curved surface area of cone, those 3 marks have to be applicable to that guy. Similarly, there were 2 very easy questions. One was on logarithms and one was on trigonometry. So if you know basic what is sine square theta and what is cos square theta, if you know the values of this, those 3 marks should be applicable to you. If some non-math student doesn't know this, it's completely fine, no problem, because that deviation will always be there. Either you learn trigonometry if you're a non-math student or you do not remember trigonometry, or be ready, these kind of deviations will happen in the main examination. You will have to recover some extra points from some of the other parts. Having said that, we will definitely have a trigonometry class as well, but there are certain basic things. This question on trigonometry which was there doesn't need trigonometry class to happen. All it needs is just understanding of sine, cos, tan, sine square, cos square, and tan square altogether. Clear? So I would rather say, even yesterday when LRDI would have happened, your job would have been to see, are you able to see that, are you picking up the easy questions or not? Point number 1. And in LR, especially, the challenge becomes this: what kind of question makes a question easy question? You can't say that, okay, Deepak sir found it easy or that guy found it easy, because there are certain questions which are easy for all. Because when I go and write the LRDI paper, I've not practiced LRDI. I've not, in fact, practiced LRDI for last 4 or 5 years. 7 years, sorry. My last LRDI attempt was in 2015. And then I attempted last year. And randomly it was a 98 some percentile. Right. Again, I've not practiced since then. I would again write CAT with you guys. Now, to me, that set should be an easy set. So please understand, in LRDI or verbal, there are certain areas which should be termed easy. So you should know, okay, if that's an easy set, doesn't matter if it's not in your comfort zone. CAT is all about definitely solving all the easy questions from all the areas. And that is why you are in the class. Clear? Having said that, since in your batch, we have done enough of numbers, enough of arithmetic. So you should not be missing out on those kind of questions for sure. Clear? Now, these are certain things that you need to understand when you're analyzing a mock. And the whole gap now would be is from a mock to mock will be a weekdays gap. Right? So you are not running for score. You are not running for next mock lo higher score. That should be a wrong strategy altogether. Point out the loopholes, maintain an Excel sheet. Okay, these are the areas I am not good at. Start working on those areas, maybe over a week's time or 2 weeks' time. I'm not saying lock yourself in a week and somehow complete it, and then suddenly you will see a good increase in a mock score. Clear? Then what will happen suddenly after that? If you're again taking it relaxed way, you'll see the scores coming down. Please understand, your improvement to score is not because of you working in your weaker areas. Your first improvement in score happens because you have been consistent last week. Are you getting it? So the key here is consistency. If this week, suppose you realize that quant week है यार, आप बैठ के ये पूरा हफ्ता अर्थमेटिक सॉल्व कर रहे हो यार, अगला हफ्ता अर्थमेटिक आएगा. You will score well. But please understand, the important takeaway is you have not been practicing till now. So your automatic jump is because this week you were very high on, that adrenaline rush on arithmetic. You started seeing arithmetic questions and you started seeing an increment in your score. So first takeaway is consistent preparation will steadily increase your score. I would not say score of 10 is bad, score of 20 is good, because all of us are fighting our own battles here. My funda is quite simple. Our funda is to see that anybody who's preparing should get a better score and your tomorrow is going to be better than today. Now you decide what is your appetite. Point number one. You also decide to be realistic that how much of the efforts have you been putting? And now it is the time to see the efforts are resulting in your positives or not. If you have been practicing hard on arithmetic and you have not been able to answer questions on arithmetic, now that's the most important question that you need to ask here. If I have been practicing, why am I not scoring? And I'm again and again telling you, your number of hours of preparation will not impact CAT. Right? There are people who sit and practice for hours, but they are doing a blank-minded practice. I observed that in some of my classes. When I am discussing, yesterday it happened, when I am discussing escalators, I discuss 6 problems in escalators. Now a good student should understand what is the trend going on. Okay, in escalator, if this information is given, this is how I solve it. If this information is given, this is how I solve it. You won't believe, the last question was a tough question, application of previous 5 questions. Almost everybody in the class failed to answer except 1 or 2 kids. And then I asked them, can you summarize escalators? They were not able to summarize escalators. Then why am I doing those 7 questions in the class? And this is what I'm talking about, concept notes. If you can't summarize escalators today, what are the different type of questions which come in escalators? Or what are the different ways in which the data is given? And how should you be solving escalators? Then concept of escalators is not your concept. So that way, you sitting in the class, maybe practicing, we would have solved around 300 to 400 questions in arithmetic in the class, which is more than a book. Our book also might not be having those many questions, excluding assignment. Right? According to me, that should be enough. Right? So now you need to go back and see your preparation. Is it a result-oriented preparation? Or are you just sitting to tick the boxes? That is irrespective whether you are good at quant or weak at quant, because you have been attending all the classes. We are telling you, okay, these are the concepts. Now your job is to identify the concept, summarize the concept, and then move forward in the preparation part altogether. Right? Now, this is the difference between somebody who is good at quant or somebody who is not comfortable with mathematics. When somebody is not comfortable, he or she is looking every question, solving, moving forward mindlessly. No matter you're solving it. But mindlessly means you're not identifying, okay, if this kind of data is given, I follow this. If this kind of data is given, I follow this. The first question of your mock can be solved in multiple ways. First question. Right, we'll discuss that. I have my own way of solving. You would have taken your own way of solving. Remember that number of questions answered, percentage of marks. I myself did in 3 different ways here. Right, so you need to understand that how are you able to handle it? Now, my ability cannot be reciprocated by you unless you solve similar questions of that kind. I will tell you why did I take 4x, but you can't take in the examination unless you're thinking the way in which I am thinking. Right. So this would be an eye opener for us. First mock is always an eye opener. First mock also tells us where should we focus. First mock also gives us a realization that maybe I'm not good so far. And I repeat, you are not good so far. We are sitting on June 20th or 21st only. You still have time to make arithmetic as your backbone. Even here, when we are talking about these percentiles, there were 5 questions coming up from arithmetic zone. 5 threes are 15. 15 in this mock was close to a 75 or 76 percentile. Not a bad deal, guys. June 20th, we are good at arithmetic is what we can claim from these 5 or 6 kind of questions. And we are at 75, 76 percentile. Your job is to hold arithmetic, ensure that at 70 to 80 percentile is somewhere going on. And again, don't take it to head. It's safety net ki haan yaar mera preparation theek se ja raha hai. You have to just take that satisfaction into it. You can't think, okay, abhi 80 aa gaya, main exam mein bhi 80 aa jayega. Because please understand, last year 3 questions was 75 percentile. Gross 8 to 9 marks. And here 15 marks is 75 percentile. This in the main exam was 9 marks. So I can't compare what you get now and what will you get in the main examination. But yeah, we know arithmetic as an area has 8 to 9 questions. Now, are you able to pick up all those arithmetic questions? Are you able to safeguard those 8 to 9 questions? Nobody can comment how much percentile will 8 to 9 questions give you in the main exam. I've been giving these examples in the class. CAT 2015, I remember, was first year easiest quant paper. That year, SNAP was difficult than CAT. SNAP quant was difficult than CAT. NMAT quant was difficult than CAT. CAT was that dead easy. 15, 16, 17. You won't believe, in a 1 hour paper, you needed 25 questions to get a 99.2 percentile. 25 corrects out of 34. In 1 hour, on an average 2 minutes per question. What is the second drawback? If I have to answer 25 out of 34, that means I have less scope to leave the questions. That will be a drawback if CAT this year is a 2 hours paper. 2 hours paper, they have brought down the number of questions in quant to 22. The lesser the number of questions, you don't have too much of flexibility to leave. Right now, that 25 questions to a 99 percentile versus 2018 paper was very difficult. 9 questions was a 99 percentile. There was a difference between last year and the year before that also. And not just you, even we struggle here. Last year, Deepak, we both realized we were struggling in the main exam because we did not have any practice of, preparation. And we were more busy with CRTs and also we were taking CAT classes properly. But please understand, exam is not about taking CAT classes. Exam is also about we being in a flow. Ideas were not striking because one day before the exam, we were busy taking classes here. Right, तो mindset हमारा भी free होना चाहिए ताकि हम score करें. Somehow we still drag to a 99 percentile. Both Deepak and I discussed. Both of us have 99, but both of us are like, this paper was not as easy as what we found last year. Last year also we got 99. But the feeling was not easy. We had to push to get that 99. The year before, they're like, okay. Same 13 questions. Right, okay. The year before that, 19 questions. 19 questions was the 99 percentile. Last year, 13 questions was 99 percentile. Paper was moderate in both the cases. Right. And also remember, the higher you go up the ladder, it becomes difficult. 6 was 51 percentile. 24 is 91 percentile. There's a 4 times gap. Are you getting it? So the higher you go, now I realize the last year, 14 questions was 99 percentile, the year before that. And I had 19 attempts in the exam. That was a 99.6 or 99.7 percentile. Right. So you need to understand that a lot of factors will come in. Hold on to your prep, get back. Speed, time, and distance, one question was there. Am I able to solve boards and streams or not? If not, where did I struggle? To this analysis, we will discuss what are the easy questions that a student who is good can pick up. Clear? What are the questions that doesn't need any brain? There was one question which was no brainer in the examination. I don't know how many of you attempted. Remember, there was a question on squares of first 50 natural numbers and squares of prime numbers till this much. To me, that was a no brainer. If you are a person who has got 6 marks, which means in 40 minutes, you have answered 2 questions. If I do that question manually, I will not take more than 3 to 4 minutes. And I will pocket 3 marks in my examination. So to me, if you have attempted that question, 6 marks is not a reflection. In this exam, you spend 4 minutes in that question, you are starting with 3 marks in the examination. Because that was no brainer, yaar. We all did prime numbers also. Best part was that. So to me, that was a no-brainer question at all. There were 2 no-brainer questions. According to me, your scores cannot be less than 6 in this examination. In quant. What were those 2 non-brainer questions? Let's try to analyze them. So when I go through a mock, I see percentage-based question. This is how I analyze. Okay, I will definitely attempt this. Okay. 1 rupee coin, 2 rupee coins. Even I had a problem. Somebody was telling even they had a problem. I got 3 answers for this. I don't know whether I'm right or wrong. I'll discuss all the 3 conclusions. And then we'll discuss in case I missed out on something or not. Okay. Then comes T be a set of this. Somebody who is good at it can figure out this method. Else we'll also discuss. Not a very difficult question, but a decent question. Can be left if you could not figure out the logic. This was a no-brainer to me. You have done algebraic identities. Let us directly start with this. See, while I would be scanning, if I come across this question, I'll stop at this, I'll solve, and then I'll go back to scan. Right? What is this question? A cube minus B cube minus C cube. But I can see this is 82. This is minus 62. This is minus 20. So this becomes a very simple question. I would take A is equal to 82. B is equal to minus 62. And C is equal to minus 20. So A plus B plus C is equal to 0. If A plus B plus C is equal to 0, A cube plus B cube plus C cube is equal to 3 times of ABC. Simple. So this means that A plus B plus C is equal to 0. If A plus B plus C is equal to 0, A cube plus B cube plus C cube is equal to 3ABC. Now you might ask me, sir, ये idea कैसे आएगा? यार ये idea यहाँ से आएगा. The question is giving you a hint. Product of 3 times into something. You should have connected algebraic identities. So when I saw this question, first was A cube minus B cube minus C cube का formula क्या है? Then I'm like, fuck, there is no such formula. A cube minus B cube minus C cube is not equal to 3ABC. Then I connected, no, A cube plus B cube plus C cube is 3ABC. And then I slightly changed my approach. I would take B is equal to minus 62, C is equal to minus 20, like jackpot. Clear? So this question can be written as 82 cube, that is A cube plus B cube plus C cube. Clear? Is equal to 3 into A into B into C. And this is what the question is asking you. So 3 into A into B into C. Now minus into minus becomes plus. So this is going to be your answer here. No brainer. You should be starting with 3 marks in this examination. Minimum 3 should be your score. Next. This we'll discuss. This was again a no-brainer. To me, 6 marks is minimum. Okay, 9 marks is minimum. We'll discuss this. This question. In the class, we wrote 25 prime numbers. Clear? First part is very easy to calculate. Sum or set having first 50 perfect squares. Sum of first n natural scores of first n natural numbers. We know the formula is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 whole divided by 6. Sorry. This is the sum of squares of first and natural numbers. I have been shouting in the class, certain formulas you need to by heart. This comes under that. We have discussed in the class many a times. Okay. Now, this aapka first wala to fatak se answer aa jayega within 30 seconds. Now comes that it's a square of first 20 positive prime numbers, which has 3 factors. We discussed in the factors class also. 3 factors means the number should be in the form of a square, where a has to be a prime number. Only then you will have the number of factors as 3, because 3 can be written as 3 into 1. Clear? So a square, which means I want first 20 squares of first 20 prime numbers. And we know 20 prime numbers. We have 2, we have 3, we have 5. We have 7, we have 11. We know squares of these. Clear? Then we have 13, we have 17, then we have 19, then we have 23, and then we have 29. Okay, you do not know from this. If you have not scored great in the examination, bro, use calculator. Exam has given you calculator. Manually likh lo yaar. Out of 10, at least 9 is what you know. Just keep on writing down, add in the end. How does it make a difference? Then you have the next square as 31, then you have 37, then you have 41, then you have 43, then you have 47. 15 prime numbers, so yahin pe ho gaya. 51 is not a prime number. Then 53 is a prime number. 59 is a prime number. 61 is a prime number. 67 is a prime number. That's it. Even if I use calculator and I calculate all these, I don't think so it should take too much of time. So I'm again telling you the strategy. People who feel you are struggling in the paper, yeah, 6 marks are in your pocket here. What are we talking about? Now, these two questions to me are no-brainers. Now, this is where you should be like, first shortlist arithmetic questions. Maybe 4 or 5 arithmetic-based questions. I'll try 4 to 5 of them. Maybe I got 2 or 3. Then why are you wasting your time? Jump, no? 2 calculation-based questions. Leave that. Okay, I forgot. You have calculator in the exam? Calculate kar lo yaar. Simple, no? Calculate kar lo. Divide by 3 kar lo. Answer aa jayega. Now you can start questioning, sir, aisa question exam mein aayega kya? Mujhe nahi pata yaar. But my point is simple. Whichever paper you are saying, are you maximizing the score or not? That is what your job is. Be selfish and be hungry yaar. If I'm not able to think, I'm like, fuck 3 small numbers, that 2 cubes. Let me use a calculator and get my answer. Are you getting it? Now, this is where you need to start thinking in multiple directions, guys. So this you could have done with calculator. This you could have done with calculator. And to me, 6 marks are there. Without any thought process. Now, let's come back to this question, which was one more question according to me. You should have definitely solved. Now, what does this question talk about? This question says an alloy contains copper, zinc, and tin in the ratio of 4:5:6. Another alloy containing only copper and tin is melted and mixed with the first alloy. If the mixture contains copper, zinc, and tin in the ratio of 13:1:3. Let's hold it on. So I can take 4x, I can take 5x, and I can take 6x. This is the ratio of copper, and I have zinc, and I have tin. Now, another alloy containing copper and zinc. Only copper and tin are melted. That means zinc is not added. Let me keep this as A, this as B. That means this is not added. Remember, I always keep on using this term called no change component. That means the initial quantity of zinc should be equal to final quantity of zinc. That means in the final quantity, I should have 5x of zinc. Clear? Now let's see. The question says final ratio is 13:1:3. Came over, no? If one part is equal to 5x, what is 3 parts? 15x. If 3 parts is equal to 15x, can I say the value of B is equal to 9x? One part is 5. 13 parts will be 65. So this becomes 65x. If this is 65x, this should be 61. Now the question is asking you, copper and tin ka ratio 61:9. You are seeing a question in the examination. That is your answer. I'm not bothered what is the solution talking about. Clear? Right? Now somebody has got 6 marks. Now I want you to start rethinking why only 6. This paper gave me 9 marks. And I'm sure if you have not picked these questions, which means you should have got more marks. Without these questions, you got 6. That means 6 plus 9. Then your score should have been 15. Are you getting it? Now, this we have seen in the class. Now, you are not able to apply. If you ask me why, I don't have an answer. If you ask me how should I do it? By remembering the concepts. Or leave that. Just focus on this. This is the definite value that I have. I do not know this value. I do not know this value. I am given ratio. Apply and get the answer. Clear? Something's wrong with this AC. Now, this is something that I want you to start understanding what is happening and how are you going ahead and solving the questions. Okay. Next part, okay, do we see some easy questions? We'll discuss. This is again percentage based. Okay. This was an easy question. We'll discuss very easy question based on nothing. You ask me what is it based out of? I'll say nothing. Your ability to handle numbers is what is coming up here. We'll discuss this also. This was the easiest question of the paper only if you are not afraid of what the fuck is f of g of f. Because examiner plays with that. Yeah, a lot of students like hum functions nahi kiye, hum chhod ke aage nikal jayenge. Now, if you have been dealing with functions in the past, or if you just apply your brain, aa jayega. So if people, especially coming from maths background, should have been done here. People from non-maths background will learn. At least henceforth, we should not leave these kind of questions in the examination. Okay. This was a question I'm talking about. If you know cone, this becomes a very easy question. Then we talk about, this was again a lovely question. If you're just having an idea about equilateral triangle, square and a circle. Yaar, ye do questions to main bhi solve kar liya, yaar. I have not touched geometry since ages. 2016 was the last time I taught geometry. After that, I just give it to Deepak. Even then, I know these kind of questions. So if I can do this, you can as well do that here. Okay. And this was a question which we have not seen, but yeah, we'll discuss this. Not a difficult question at all. This was not to be done, which was very weird. This was definitely to be done. Okay. Next comes is, this was again a lovely question. Very beautiful question. We'll discuss this also. This you can still leave it, no problem. But I was enticed because I told you when the question tells me integers, I get a little excited to see is something working or not. Okay. And then this was a parallelogram. You can still leave it. This was logs. If you know better, if not, leave it. No problem. This also, if you know PNC, do it, else leave it. No problem. But very easy question. And this, if you know sine square, your jackpot here. This, honestly, I could not get time to solve this. So we'll discuss this sometime later. That's it. So according to me, what kind of questions you should definitely solve in this paper? So I will start with this question for sure. First question. Definitely to be solved according to me. This, if you got stuck with options, I will still give you marks. Let's discuss the process also. According to me, I found more than one case. Okay. So I'm not counting this in as of now because you would be leaving the question, or you could still take a bet because it was a fill in the blank question. 2, this, okay, assuming that you're leaving, 1 definitely doable question. 2nd definitely doable question. Minimum to minimum after solving the mock. 2, definitely doable question. 3, 4, 5 for sure. 6 should not be left. Assuming that you're leaving it, no problem. But according to me, this was supposed to be done. But still, 6. Not giving you marks. Forget it. Not considering this. Forget it. Not considering this. I'm going highly conservative mode. Okay, highly conservative mode. Easy question भी छोड़ रही यार. चल ठीक है. तुमको ज्योमेट्री नहीं आता, छोड़ दो. Leave it. Leave it. Do it. Can't leave this. 7th question. Can be done, but yeah, unless you're going by options, this becomes a little difficult as well. Assuming that you're leaving averages also. Leave this. Leave this. Leave this. Leave this. Leave this. Leave this. How many did we count? 7 3s are 21. 24 is what percentile? 24 is 91 percentile. I'm okay with 20, 86 percentile. I'm still happy with it. But did you pick the question that I'm talking about? Did you do the Q's wala question? If not, +3. So then you add 6 more here. Then you should deserve a 26 here. Right? So now that's where, but these 7 can be done in least possible time. Let's start discussing these questions. Now, what does this question talk about? This question says Mandira made a mistake in an examination, made 3 mistakes in an examination, and she scored 75% of marks. Okay. if she had attempted 5 more questions and made one mistake from these 5 questions, then she would have obtained 87.5% marks. Now I know that 87.5 is on total. Okay. Now, if all the questions carry equal marks and there was no negative marking for wrong answer, let's go with the basic approach. 75% is 3 by 4 of total. 87.5% is 7 by 8 of total. Right. So what I did is, I am always good at eliminating fractions. So what I did is, I assumed that total questions in the examination are 8x. Clear? Now, obviously, she has attempted, which means out of attempts, there are some corrects and wrongs. And there are certain unattempted questions. Not to be worried about in this question, because I'm only using this and corrects, because no negative marks for anything else. So you score on the number of questions you get it correct, and you will calculate 75% of total. Right? So in both the cases, your total is 8x, same examination. Clear? Right? Now, this person made 3 mistakes in the examination. So all I did is, let me assume the corrects were y and the mistakes were 3. Not important at all to me. Because first equation says, let's say, I repeat, each question has 1 mark. So total marks are 88x. Clear? Out of total marks, you scored 3/4 of 8x from this point of view. And if marks per question is 1, you actually scored y into 1, that is y marks. So right away, this gives me a relationship between x and y. Now, why does marks per question doesn't make an impact? If I take k marks per question, total marks becomes this, k into 8x. You attempted y question, you corrected y questions. That means you get into k. Now this k and this k will get cancelled, so doesn't make a difference here. ठीक है, तो ये कितना हो गया? 3 1s are 3 2s are. Can I say directly y is equal to 6x आ गया? Then what I did is, I cancelled this part, I wrote 6x here. Now read the second part of the question. If she had attempted 5 more questions and made 1 mistake from these 5 questions, that means she got 4 corrects. So can I say the number of corrects this time is 6x plus 4? Again, I'm not focusing on what is happening here. Clear? So 6x plus 4 into 1, you get 6x plus 4 marks. And this time you're scoring 87.5% marks, which means that becomes 7 by 8 of 8x. What are we doing? Clear? Right? So can I say 7x, 6x, x is equal to 4? If x is equal to 4, total marks are 8 4s are 32. How many of you did on the same lines? Eliminating fractions. Stop doing that. I'll kill you from next time if you're doing by options. Give me a reason why. I can make this a fill in the blank question, kada? Right, so there are 2 things here. One, you're hungry for marks, but again, as I said, don't be hungry for marks also. See whether if you're going by options, you're not applying your logic anywhere. If I make this as a fill in the blank question, then what would you do? And options, seriously, I'm sorry. My next method will tell you whether you should go with options or not. No negative marks for wrong answers. Okay? No negative marks for wrong answers. No negative marks for unattempted answers. Clear? In the first case, you scored 75% of total marks. In the second case, you scored 87.5% of total marks. Can I say you scored 12.5% of total marks or questions extra? Because you got only 4 corrects. That's your answer. 12.5% of total is equal to 4. 1 by 8. 1 by 8 cross multiply 32. If options in the kavalra. And what if I change this to option A here, 32? You would first try 28, then you would try 34, then you would try 36, nahi aaya, then you would take 32 here. But my point is, you failed in seeing this. You failed big time in seeing this. That is wrong. And I'm not saying that this kind of question will come, but this deviation logic that we have seen in our life. If I've seen this deviation logic in my life, what is stopping me from thinking about it? Clear? Now, Going forward, I'm skipping that question. I'll come back to it. Percentage rejection. And this to me is a unitary method question. Standard 7 mein humne seekha tha. Clear? Now this question says, how many of you solved this question? 1, 2. Online, how many of you solved this question? Why and? Okay, Sharad says why. Vaibhav says yes. Madhu says yes. Or Pradeep says yes. 4 plus 2, 6 in my class, 7 in my class, and got it correct also. That's more important. So 19 online and 5 offline. Out of 24, I have 5 plus 2, 7. I'm sorry. I retire from teaching you mathematics. I'm seriously retiring from teaching you mathematics. There's no application in this question also. Right, let's see. A car dealer places an order for M cars. I want M cars. The company can produce a maximum of N cars daily, out of which K percentage are rejected and cannot be delivered to the dealer. So can I say in one day, the dealer can get 100 minus K percentage of 100 into N cars? Clear, right? In how many days, right? Can he complete the order? That means I want to know in how many days is he able to give M cars. So let us calculate. Now understand, if I get to know the time taken to calculate one car, suppose time taken to make one car is 10 days. Time taken to make M cars is 10 M days, which means I want to know time taken. The question is asking you how much time. So rather make cars as a subject and make time use of time here. So can I say one car cross multiply 100 goes on the top divided by 100 minus K into N. To make one car, I take these many days. And to make M cars, I make these many days. No. B, right? That's what. How much time? See, and more than that, I would be more impressed or I would be more interested. K percent rejection. That means it's a question of percentages. Clear? Now, again, my job is to show you how can you pick up easy questions and still score it. You got 20 with I don't know what effort, what combination. I'm giving you easy combination of 21 marks. Then why are you wasting your energy in the examination? Clear? Selection is very important. So maybe you could have picked these 7 quickly. And maybe you could have still saved some time. You could have answered 1 or 2 extra questions. You could have maximized your score further. Clear? Right? So this was definitely doable. Now let's go back to the question which was weird. Yeah. Slightly weird in terms of formation of question. Okay. So Ram had some money with himself in the form of 1 rupee and 2 rupee coins. The number of 2 rupee coins with Ram is 2 less than that of 1 rupee coins with him. Okay. Pritish also had some money with himself in the form of 1 rupee and 2 rupee coins, with both of the coins being different in number. The difference in the squares of number of coins with each one of them is 105. The total 1 rupee coins that Ram had were what percentage of 2 rupee coins, given that Pritish had more coins with as compared to Ram? Clear? Can I say we have x square minus y square is equal to 105? We had seen this concept recently. This becomes x plus y into x minus y is equal to 105. Now, can I say x and y are number of coins, which means they have to be integers. And we discussed this model, product of 2 numbers is equal to 105. And if I want x plus y and x minus y, either both the numbers have to be even or both the numbers have to be odd. And we discussed if it's an odd number, you'll always have odd factors only. So, and x plus y will be greater than x minus y. So first case is 105 into 1. And we also discussed the shortcut, add both of them, divide by 2, you get the value of x. Substitute the value of x here, you get the value of y. So 106 by 2 is 53. Pritish had 53 coins. And if I replace 53 here, the other part is 52. That means Ram had 52 coins. Now I am told that the number of 2 rupee coins with Ram is 2 less than number of 1 rupee coins with Ram. Now try to understand this way. If 1 rupee coins are K, 2 rupee coins are K minus 2. This plus this is equal to whatever you get here. Or in short, 2K is equal to add 2 here. That is 54. If 2K is equal to 54, that means the value of K is equal to 27 and this is 25. 1 rupee, 2 rupee coins. Clear? Now, second possibility is I can also have 3 is the next factor, 3 into 35. Add both of them, divide by 2, 38 by 2, 19. And this guy got 16. We discussed, I first add 2 here, 18. 18 divided by 2. So 9 and 7. Is this satisfying? According to me, this is also satisfying. Huh? Yeah, 3. Correct. Clear? So there was a second value. This is what was not considered in the options. So according to me, the solution is wrong for this. But if you have got this much correct, give yourself 3 marks. No problem. Clear? And the third case is also there. That is 5 into 21. And I can also have 7 into 15. You consider this, you get certain values. Clear? So you'll have 3 to 4 cases. But unfortunately, in the solutions when I saw, this was the only case accepted. Clear? Because nothing else is given. There's no other condition given to me. Pritish has more coins. I know that Pritish has more coins. The gap between both the number of coins is 2 also here. There's no other condition given to me. And he says both the coins of this guy are different in number. I can have different number, 10, 9 also. Right? So that's where I was like not very sure of the correct answer. So, but if anybody has some different views, we are open to discussion about this question. Because I tried thinking about it, I think this is the ideal solution. Anybody online? Rakesh, Sharat, Pradeep, Vamsi. You also got the same solution?
I didn't analyze the questions.
So. Okay, fair enough, no problem. So one more advice to all of you. When you are writing a mock, sleep over it. Let's say you give it in the morning and preferably give it in the exam slots. Don't try to see ki raat ko free hai to raat ko kar rahe. Don't make it a habit. You are either writing in the morning slot 8:30 to 10:30 or in the afternoon slot 12 to 2:30 or in the evening slot 4 to 6. Look at those slot timings altogether. Try to take in one of the slots because your slot will be one of those only. And make out time for these areas. Okay. So once you're done with your mock, sleep over it. Next day, without seeing solutions, without time limit, I want you to analyze the mock, which means redo the complete paper. Right? And then when you're attending these classes, then you can have your own set of arguments or discussions or your points. Let's say verbal ability will have a huge thing. It's always about eliminating two ones. You're always stuck with those two. You're selecting A, maybe B is the answer. You're selecting B, maybe A is the answer. Right? So you can always discuss in a verbal class, okay, why is this very close? Why is this not close? Right? Same way in the quant class as well. But I would again advise, do not see the solution. Else we conducting these mock discussions of no use. And there's one more stronger reason why I conduct mock discussion, because you are taught by me. Writing the solution versus explaining the solution. There's a huge difference. The best example would be the first question itself. When I did in the first shot, I got the answer within like 5 seconds. Like, what is wrong? And then I tried doing the basic method, assuming that, okay, my kids might have done the basic method. I did not think that you're very smart to go by options. Clear? But then I took X and Y wala approach. Then last wala thing, I was like, chalo yaar, options revision to ho hi jayega. Clear? Now, this will come back to it. Let's first solve the easy ones. Yeah, let's solve this question. Now, what is this question talking about? There are two workshops. In a motor workshop, there are two mechanics, A and B. A takes M hours to service a car, while B takes N hours to service one car. Okay. If Adam works alone for P hours, that means that he's working for P hours. So again, the same logic. So if I get 1 hour, this much, P hours into P. If I make one car in 1 hour, in 10 hours, I will make 10 cars. So that understanding should be there on what to take as, subject, or one car kiska lena hai. That is where this question was difficult. If, trust me, instead of M and P and all, if the question would have given you values, I'm sure a lot of you would have solved this. Clear? So my understanding is simple, because I want to know how many cars is he making in P hours. So I need to know in 1 hour he's making how many cars. So in P hours he will make that much into P. Now that thought process should be there in the examination. Clear? And again, the question is talking about they have made a total of 12 cars. So it's very important for me to see in 1 hour how many cars, in these many hours, these many cars. Clear? So again, the same logic. A would take M hours to make one car. So can I say in 1 hour, this guy makes 1 by M cars? Or in P hours, this guy makes P by M cars. So I am in a way done till here. I need not think too much about it. Now what it says, after P hours, that means after making these many cars, okay, he is joined by B. That means from here, A and B are working. Okay, now let's see again. If B can take N hours, to make one car, in 1 hour, B will take 1 by N cars. So from here, both of them are working. So from here, both of them are working, which means in 1 hour, they will make 1 by M plus 1 by N. That is M plus N by Mn cars. In 1 hour. And I know they have worked for certain number of hours, which is asked in the question. Let me assume they have worked for K hours. So can I say in K hours, they will make these many cars? And the question says, this and this together is equal to 12 cars. Now, I don't see difficulty in this question, personally. Clear? So I would say P by M cars plus M plus N by Mn into K is equal to 12. Our job is to get the value of K. Isolate this. Let's take this here. So if you see options, it's 12 into something, something, something. Koi problem nahi. If I take this here, this becomes 12 minus P by M, which means that becomes 12M minus P divided by M. Clear? Is equal to M plus N by Mn into K. Or the value of K is cross multiply and see whichever value satisfies from the option, that becomes your answer. And according to the option, this is going to be your answer. D, or C, whatever it is, just cross check and get the value.
Sir, this question, can we also solve it by using the method you said, like taking the LCM of first row?
How does it make a difference? Same thing, no? मेरे को 1 घंटे का काम चाहिए ना? आपको सेम आ जाएगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. You can do with the help of that method also. How does it make a difference? Let's say A takes, but he's taking M hours to take only one car, okay?
Yes.
N hours. So let's say they are assuming they are making Mn. See, total work has not come in place anywhere. So it won't make a difference at all, anywhere. Clear? If you want to go by this approach also, you'll get the same answer, Pratiksha. Don't worry about it.
Yes. Thanks.
Yeah, let's come down. These kind of questions should not be left. I would say these are called no man's land. No topic this comes under. After getting introduced to numbers, you should have at least found a trend. Okay. Now, these kind of questions definitely have a trend. मैं तो logically solve किया. आप चाहिए तो आप लिख के भी solve कर सकते हो यार. ठीक है? N plus 1. Cool, no problem. I have some problem with my touch screen. Yeah. So I have n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3, and n plus 4, so on, so on, so on, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 96. How many of these contain 6 or an integral multiple of 6? Let's replace n is equal to 1. If I replace n is equal to 1, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now you should be quick at calculating if it's a large thing. So I don't have a 6 here, but can I say from 2, I will have 6 till where? Till 6. Because please understand, 5 numbers, right? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a 6 here. Then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have a 6 here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have these 5 has a 6 for sure. So you should be in a quick position to understand that if I touch 7, I will be going only till 11. 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Again, same trend follows. You write 12, 8 here, you get 12, and then again series of 5 numbers. So can I say in every series of 6 lots like this, 5 of them are applicable? Clear? So for every 6 values of n, the number of applicable sets we have is 5. Now 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, I have 96 such sets, which means I have 16 such blocks. Or understand that way, in every one block you have 5 accepted. 6 into 16, that means in every 16 such blocks, total accepted values will be 5 into 16. Find a trend and move out. You have to just understand the ability ki yaar 12 kahan se aa raha hai. Because these are 5 numbers. These are 5 numbers. If you start with the first multiple, when I divide by 6, leaving a remainder of 1, I will not have 6 here. But rest all the cases, once 6 is present, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, absent. Again, it comes here. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So every block will give you 5, 5, 5 such values, 16 such blocks, 80 such values. You should not have left this. We have not counted this. Clear? But again, identify the trend. If you have 6 marks, 9 marks, 14 marks, 15 marks in the examination, you have just done 5 questions here. According to me, I'm not counting negatives. That's your problem. Why didn't you not have 100% accuracy? Which means your question selection is wrong. Clear? Right? Now, that's the point where you need to understand that if you build accuracy, to me, you have solved 5 questions or 6 questions or 7 questions. Can I say each question 3 minutes? Effectively, how many minutes for 7 questions also? 21. Sharath has 24 marks. 8 questions. 8 3s are 24. Each section had how many marks? How many minutes? 40. You still had 16 extra minutes. Could you have picked this and solved this? And this paper was worth 3 minutes, 3 minutes per question. 3, 3.5, or you can take 4 also. 8 4s are 32. If you get all those 8 corrects, 32 minutes. You still have 8 minutes to solve these kind of questions. And that becomes your answer. Clear? Now this, again, you should not be leaving this. What is f of g of 4? Now, whenever you have functions-based questions, you have to just understand this part. Now, first you will be solving something that is inside the brackets. That means I need to get the value of g of 4. Now, g kahan pe? G yahan pe. Clear? So I repeat, g of x is given to me. And I'm writing g of 4, which means I'll assume the value of x to be 4. Which means the value of x is even. If the value of x is even, 2x minus 3 is the value of g of x. Which means g of x will give me how much? 2 4s are 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. Now, if this value is 5, I'll replace it. Eventually, I get what? F of 5. Again, in place of x, I will assume 5, which means x is odd. If x is odd, I look at this value. That means again the value is equal to 2x minus 3. So 2 5s are 10. 10 minus 3 is equal to 7. This is one part of it. Let's go with second part of it. Now what is it? It's reverse. Again, I look at this part first. First, I have to solve f of 3. X jagalo 3, which means x is odd. If x is odd, I'm looking at this value. So 2 3s are 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. So I will write f of 3 is equal to 3. Now if I replace, this becomes g of 3. Now g of 3, again x is odd. X is odd, then that becomes 3 square plus 4. That is equal to 13. And the question is asking you find the difference between them. 13 and 7. The difference is, that's your answer. Clear? This, any doubts? When I use cloth to make a conical tent, in a way I'm using the curved surface area. Clear? So what is the curved surface area of a cone? CSA is equal to pi into R into L. If you know the formula, you should have definitely attempted this question. Clear? And here L is nothing but, it's something like this, no? If I look at a cone like this and I drop a perpendicular, this is my radius because a cone will be something like this. I'm very bad at mensuration. Okay. So this is going to be R and this is going to be the height of the cone and this is nothing but my slant height. So if I use a right angle triangle formula, h square plus r square is equal to L square. Clear? And you are given 724. Once we do triangles, you'll realize it. 724 and 25 is a triplet. Clear? We'll learn Pythagorean triplets till 10. 3, 4, 5, 5, 12, 13, 7, 24, 25. Okay. So 724 and 25 is a triplet. So I take the value of L is equal to 25, or you can also take squares and get the value. So I repeat, the value of L square is equal to h square plus r square, hypotenuse. Clear? So then you get 22 by 7 into 7 into 25. That means these many meters square of cloth will be required. Now I'm already told that 2.5 meters wide is already there. So divide by 2.5. The 10 goes on the top. 25 gets cancelled. So, sorry, 220 meters of cloth will be required to make a cone of this size. Clear? I don't think so. Yeah, we'll discuss this question and we'll discuss average also. Before that, let's discuss this wala question. Let's discuss this. Now, this is, if you observe, especially for people who are not afraid of numbers and series, okay? If you observe, this is a series in arithmetic progression with a common difference of h. Now, what is the logic behind this, okay? See here, I just take an example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take 6 or 7. Right? How many numbers can be made in a set such that no two numbers should give a sum of 8? The catch point is there only. The question says 470. Kada. You look at this, 3 plus 467 is 470. And I already told you, if a series is in arithmetic progression, the sum of first term plus the last term should be equal to sum of second term plus the second last term. This and so on, so on, so on. Right? If no two numbers should give 8, that means 1 and 7 cannot be in the same group. So if I'm using 1, I cannot use 7. So let's say 7 is in a different group. Clear? Similarly, either of them. If I'm taking 1, 7 won't be there. If I'm taking 7, so from this pair, 1 is considered. Similarly, can I say from the second pair also 1 will be considered? So either 2 or 6. Third pair also either 3 or 5. Now, advantage is these are odd number of terms. Certain guy will be in the middle. If I want to maximize number of terms in a set, we'll put 4 there. So can I say, if I have given this series and I am said that no two values is equal to 8, sum of no two values is equal to 8, I will check how many terms are there. If they are in pairs, suppose I give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I tell you sum of no two is equal to 9. Then 1 or 8, anyone. 2 or 7, anyone. 3 or 6, anyone. 4 or 5, anyone. I don't have an option. Which means if the number of terms are even, just divide by 2. If the number of terms are odd, center में एक value बचेगा. If the question is saying maximum, उस value को वहां डाल देने का. n minus 1 by 2 plus 1. So which means I need to count how many terms are there in the series, right? And I also gave you a hint about, or I also told you how to find the number of terms in a series in arithmetic progression by extending how many numbers of natural numbers are there from x to y. Remember that we discussed? So if what did we discuss? If number of natural numbers, suppose I want to know natural numbers from 12, 13 to, let's say, 19. I told you this formula, last term minus the first term plus 1. And that day itself, I expanded this formula. The logic is last term minus the first term by the common difference plus 1. And when I'm writing natural numbers, the common difference is 1. We discussed in that day's class. Similarly, here the common difference is 8. So last term minus the first term by the common difference plus 1. So this gives me how much? 464. So 8 5s are 40 and 68. Sorry, 64, right? So 8 8s are 64 plus 1. That means this will have 59 terms. Easier part, divide this by 2 because central value is this value. One term will be in center. So 59 minus 1. That means 58 numbers will be this plus this, this plus this, and so on, so on, so on, which will be how many pairs? 29 pairs. So either 3 or 467. So 29 pairs, each pair will give me one number in my set. That means 29 numbers. The total value is odd. So central में एक number रहेगा. वो number इसमें डाल देंगे. क्योंकि the question पूछ रहा है maximum possible. Right? So 29 plus 1, the answer becomes 30. This is a model in arithmetic progression chapter. We'll learn it. But since we are now having time and learning it, let's learn this here as well. Clear? This done, this done. What was wrong here? That's my most important question. Okay. An equilateral triangle, a square, and a circle are of the same perimeter. Let me assume the side of an equilateral triangle is A. Okay, or let's say E. Let's represent that way only. Side of a square is S and radius of a circle is R. Because that is how I get the perimeter. Perimeter of an equilateral triangle is 3E. Perimeter of a square is 4S. And perimeter of this is 2 pi R. Something is equal to something is equal to something. I taught you, assume it to a constant, and preferably that should be a multiple of what will come in the denominator. Hold. Okay. Now the question is talking about respective areas. That means I want to know the value of E, I want to know the value of S, and I want to know the value of R. Okay. So if I equate it to a constant, the value of E will be K divided by 3. That means K should be a multiple of 3. The value of S will be K by 4. K should be a multiple of 4. Value of R will be divided by 2 pi. So rather I would assume a multiple of 3, LCM of 3, 4 and 2 pi. LCM of 3 and 4 is 12. 12 will be cancelling 2, no problem. So can I just write 12 pi? Because I want the sides to be integers. And we know pi ka value, 3.14. Okay? So I'll assume, first of all, I'll erase this and I'll erase this. So this is a few things that you need to pick up here. Here aapka 12 pi aapka value ho gaya. So now what is the value of E? Value of E is equal to 4 pi. What is the value of S? Value of S is equal to 3 pi. And what is the value of R? Value of R is equal to 6. Now the question is asking a relationship between their areas. Now you need to know the formula. Only one formula you need is this. These two are something we use in our daily life. Clear? So side area of a square is side square. So this becomes 9 pi square. Use calculator. Who's stopping you? 3.14 into 3.14 into 9. Clear? Value of this is going to be? Equilateral triangle is root 3 by 4 into a square. That will be how much? 16 pi square. Good sign. Pi square, pi square. I can compare between these two. 4 ones are 4 fours are. This is 4 into root 3 pi. Pi square ko bhul jao. You can compare between these two. This is 3.14. Sorry, 1.7, right? So 1.7 into 4 is 6.8. So I know that square's area is greater than equilateral triangle's area. So either I'm writing area of a square is greater than equilateral triangle, or area of an equilateral triangle is less than square. Equilateral triangle greater than square, this option goes off. Clear? Equilateral triangle less than square, hold it. Equilateral triangle less than square, hold it. A square less than equilateral triangle, no. So my first option is gone and my fourth option is gone. Clear? And finally, I want pi r square. Clear? So that becomes 36 pi, 36 into 3.14, that's 108. Clear? So this gives me 108. Now you rather use 3.14 and get the values of these. Fair enough, no problem. 31, 3.1 kada. 31 square is 961. So approximately you can take 10 as the value of this. 9 into 10 is 90. Clear? And this is, we already got 6.8 into 10, 68. So you have this as 36, this is 90, this is 68. Compare, get the values. Nahi ho raha hai, theek hai yaar, 3.14 lo, calculator use kar lo yaar. See, that's what I'm telling. We will not use calculator for everything. Even in this paper, there are a few questions where you need calculator. Use them. Right, but use them in the desperate need. Don't use them whenever you want. Clear? So again, a doable question in case you know this formula. Equilateral triangle ka formula. As I told you, square and circle, hum sabko pata hai. Equilateral triangle is what you had to know. We'll discuss this. Before that, I want to complete this question. Clear? Now what do I have? Very easy question. I am told that 180 by P minus 3 is the time taken to go upstream, which is equal to 180 by P plus 3 plus 1. Or I did something like this. The difference of the time taken is 1, right? So this minus this is equal to 1. Now in boards and streams, we use plus wala sign. But we can use the same logic. I want this to be divisible by a number. I want this to be, again, 180 to be divisible by another number. The gap between them is 6. So I want 2 factors of 180. Are you getting it? 2 factors. I'll try that first. I want 2 factors of 180 whose gap is 6. 30 and 36.
6 and
12. Or write the factors. Right. So 6 and 12 also will give you, but difference will not be 1. Right. 6 ka ho jayega 30. 12 ka ho jayega 15. 30 minus 15 is not working. So I would rather say write down the factors of 180. See the gap is 6. Matching or not, that's your answer. I did that, to be very honest. When I saw the solution, you can use LCM, mathematics. You guys are James Bond of it. But my mind first goes, I told you, almost all the questions on boards and streams are made that way only. Clear? So according to me, you would rather write all the factors of 180. ठीक है? दोनों का gap 6 होना चाहिए. So find 2 factors whose gap is 6. Let's say 12 and 18 also works. 12 में ये 15 आ जाएगा. 18 में 10 आ जाएगा. 15 minus 10 आपका आ जाएगा 5. That's not working. So you try that. 30 and 36 will work. Hardly 2 extra minutes ka job and you get your answer.
Sir?
See, maybe by taking the LCM, you might still take the same time as I took. But my comfort is not by seeing a quadratic equation. My comfort is by seeing a number wala based game. Right? And always remember, if you want the gap difference between them to be 1, clear? You try to go the higher values, that should give you the idea. So 30 gives you 6, 36 gives you 5. That's your answer. Clear? एक और question था, हाँ ये वाला था यार. So in a large packet, there are 7 boxes of different weight. And the average weight of these boxes is 8 pounds. That means sum total is equal to 7 pounds. Which of the following could be the sum of the heaviest 4 boxes? Clear? Now understand here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in ascending order. Okay. I want the sum of these 4. Clear? First things first, first option is stupid. 8A doesn't work. Clear? Because see, this is an open-ended question. You can assume anything you want. Clear? Right? So rather what I will do is I'll try to go by options. Now, second one is also weird. 7.5 total sum is 7 here. Clear? And I'm saying different weights. Matlab ye positive hi hona hai. If this is positive, that means this value has to be less than 7. So this also doesn't work. Now 3.2A and 13a by 3. What is 13a by 3? That is 4.33. Now 3.2a. Now let's use the logic here. If sum of 4 is 3.2a, ascending order, can I say sum of smaller 3 should be 3.a? Doesn't make logical sense. Because these are larger 4 and ascending order. Clear? So can I say obviously the sum of larger 4 should be greater than 3.5 or equal to 3.5. Worst case. If this is 3.5, this should be 3.5 because the logic says simple that if this is x and this is y, I know that y has to be greater than x. For sure. Right? So if I'm looking at that way, x and x agar hum le lete hain, equal to 2x is equal to 3.5, 2x is equal to 7 or x is equal to 3.5. So worst case scenario, this should be 3.5. This should be 3.5. Logically, again, not possible. Smaller 3, 3.5. Larger 4, 3.5. Not possible. So the logical conclusion is the value of this has to be definitely greater than 3.5a. Right? And options are not giving you any leeway. You can directly take this as your answer and get out and get your value there. Yeah, if there are two values more than 3.5, trust me, the question was made for this logical thinking only. Else, I personally can't determine the values. Clear? Because a is not an integer also. I do not know a pounds.
All the values are here. 4a.
Yeah, that's what, 4a. So there has to be greater than 3.5. Or greater than 4 kuda undali. Clear? This तो नहीं करना अभी यहाँ आ जाओ यार अभी कहाँ गया हाँ यहाँ आ जाओ. Now I did not discuss this kind of question. This kind of question I've seen only in one book. Time का एक book में एक ही question है यार. Now people who know graphs a bit and speak time and distance physics वाला जो maths है उसमें simple है that the distance covered is nothing but the area of under the graph. Clear? So that will be the distance covered here, right? So I'm given speed, I'm given time. So I know that I can calculate the area under the graph divided by total time. That becomes your answer. Now, in how many ways can you find the area? Again, for that you need to know geometry. Okay? So what I did is I just dropped the line here. This becomes a right angle triangle, half into 5 into 10. Clear? Second is this becomes 5, 5, 10. It's a rectangle. You have further a problem. Calculate the area of this right angle triangle. Clear? Calculate the area of this rectangle. Right? Then you want this again becomes a right angle triangle in the end. Only thing you need to know is the area of a trapezium. That is half into sum of parallel sides into distance between them. This is the only thing that might stop you from getting the answer. But you need to know the formula of that. Half into sum of parallel sides into the distance between them because this is perpendicular.
So that also becomes a triangle and a rectangle.
Oh yeah, you can as well do that. Sorry, I तो went difficult way. मुझे पता था तो मैं वो use कर लिया यार. I know the formula of trapezium, so I used it. Clear? Or this is a right angle triangle. This is also a rectangle. Perfectly fine. So you don't even need to know the trapezium wala thing. Clear? So that becomes your answer. Right. So one of the learnings is here, at least from now on, by heart those 2D and 3D formulas come se come here. You never know kahan thoda bahut use hota hai. Remember this as one of the ways that if the graph of velocity and this is given, area under the graph should be your total distance covered. Total distance by total time is nothing but your average speed. Clear? Just 1 second here. Just 1 second. Yep, that's it. I think according to me, I would be rather discussing these questions. This was, see, there are certain questions which the examiner makes reverse gear. Okay? Reverse gear मतलब इसका सबसे simplified हो जाता. आप m common ले लो. People who are good at maths can do this. I take m common. This becomes m square plus 6m plus 5. This can be further factorized. M plus 5 into m plus 1. Clear? So this can be written as m into m plus 5 into m plus 1. Now this is equal to, you see 9 common here first. That becomes 3, or you can take 9n common. This becomes 3n square plus n plus 1 plus 1. So logic is quite simple. This is a multiple of 9, 9 into something, plus 1. Clear? Or a multiple of 3 plus 1. So when divided by 3 or 9, leaves the remainder of 1. Clear? Now what you can do here is, you can start replacing certain values. There are certain questions that you can adopt this approach also. Let's say I take value of m is equal to 1. This becomes 1, and m and n are integers. Clear? 1 into 2 into 6. It's a multiple of 3. 2 into 3 into 7. Again, multiple of 3. Clear? 3 will give you multiple of 3. So are you able to understand? If I'm taking 1, this is making multiple of 3. That means this is a number when divided by 3 leaves the remainder of 1. Okay? So I'm writing m in the form of 3k plus 1. So I replace this as 3k plus 1 plus 5 becomes 3k plus 6. That means a 3 comes out. Clear? If a 3 comes out, that means this whole thing becomes a multiple of 3, exact multiple of 3. If I take 2, 2 is nothing but when divided by 3 leaves the remainder of 2. Okay? So 3k plus 2. Then this becomes 3k plus 7, or this becomes 3k plus 3. Again, a 3 comes out from here. Now this makes it a multiple of 3. Clear? And if I take the value of m as 3k, this itself makes a multiple of 3. Right? So that means the left hand side number is always divisible by 3. Right? That means right hand side number also should be divisible by 3. But right hand side number is divisible by 3, leaving a remainder of, so no value satisfies. There are certain questions made on these lines. If you're able to connect the dots, jackpot again. Clear? So the answer for this question is no value satisfies. So the idea should be, see, idea you'll generate from here, multiple of 3 or multiple of 9. But here I'm not seeing a multiple of 9 in the first case. Value of n lo multiple of 9 రాలేదు, మాత్రం multiple of 3 వచ్చింది. अगर multiple of 3 आ जाता है, मतलब left hand side is always a multiple of 3. And if this is equal to this, that means right hand side also should be a multiple of 3. But this is multiple of 3 plus 1. Right? Now this side is divided by 3, leaves the remainder of 1. That means nothing will satisfy. Or m or n should be in decimals. Only danto round off ayin tarvata. N should be in decimals. Right? So that you apply plus 1 makes it a multiple of 3, and then maybe you can equate both of them. Clear? So this is what we are looking at. This question, this I think let's wait for parallelogram, or it's actually easy question, but let's wait for parallelogram, no problem. This, if you know log, very simple. When you see x here, I want to make base equal. So we have this formula called 1 by log b base a is equal to log a base b. आपका base interchange हो जाएगा और कुछ नहीं. So आप उसको reverse कर दोगे, तो everywhere the base will be x. So then you can add all the numbers and get the values all together. You can as well do that. Log a, log b base a is equal to log b by log a. ये देखो तो. So 1 by this, right, is equal to log 2 by log x. You can as well do that, no problem. Clear? And this we'll discuss in permutations and combinations. This I'm sure simple, just plug in the values and get your answers. This I'll discuss with you a little later. I have not solved this question actually. That's it, guys. And trust me, all of you might be having this thought, after the exam I found the mock easy. No. Please understand, after the exam you found the mock easy because in the exam also you used your brains. A lot of time people have this misconception, you know, exam lo raledu, after exam 1 minute lo vachindira. Exam lo raledu, how many minutes exam lo apply chesaru adi kuda count cheyali kada. Are you getting it? In the exam you have put in some time to it, and then 1 minute after the exam. So your cumulative time for that question is not 1 minute. Your cumulative time for the question is exam time plus that 1 minute. So please don't go give those kind of cues to yourself. It's okay. You did not get in the exam. Accept it. Yeah. First mock. Yeah. The whole world is not changing. But yeah, don't stop taking pressure of mocks. Else I'm telling you, first of all, don't take percentile to head. Problem khatam ho jayega. But you have to consider कि आपका main exam day में pressure will be high. There's every possibility your performance might come down. Are you getting it? So you have to be ready for a high pressure game always. This is what I generally do when I have to run a 21 kilometers marathon. I try to see that 1 or 2 weeks before the marathon, I'm crossing 21 regularly. 3 to 4 times I cross. Few days before the marathon is my muscle relaxation because on that day I have to push faster. But I make my muscles already strong. I relax so that on the day of the race, the muscle should not be in a fatigue stage. So you need to also understand on the day of the exam, if you're playing that game, before the exam, be ready for a high pressure game. Clear? Once you're ready for a high pressure game, then the high pressure on that examination might, subside altogether. Right? So you have to understand how brutal you can be with yourself. Maybe you can take the exam in 30 minutes so that exam lo 40 minutes untadi. 10 minutes ka thoda buffer. Let's assume that 5 to 10 minutes ka performance might go up and down. Right. So, but that depends on your algorithm, the way you work. But I'm telling you from before until last time, we are not making students sensitive regarding this. Even now, after telling also, you might not be sensitive, but please understand this is a factor. On the day of the exam, pressure will be high. And that's why this is the first year I'm telling you, do not take percentiles to heart. Rather see, could I pick these questions or not? Next exam maybe kuch no man's land wale questions honge. And I'm not expecting you to thrash the paper. All I expected was a 20 or a 21 or a 24 marks in this paper. And it's okay if you did not get yours. Target is, let's be there. And for verbal and LR, start solving LR sets as usual. Verbal, see which genre you are struggling. Start practicing RCs, articles, become comfortable. Next mock, some other genre will come as your weakness. Work on that. Your idea is identify weakness, work on them, add 1% every week, or 1 percentile every week. Right? We should be still there at a very good level altogether. Clear? Try to add 1 extra question every week of skills. That might not result in 3 extra marks, but it might definitely help you in the long run. Our target is CAT, not every mock. So mock to mock strategy, sorry, stop it. Continue your prep, identify weaker areas. Now the point is you have concrete weaker areas to work on. That's the best part. We know this is my weaker area now. This is not working. This is not working. Work on them, make them work. That is the best part of mocks. You get concrete points to work on. Now you should at least get a direction in the whole process. And just see that whatever efforts you are putting is resulting in some marks. अब random practice नहीं चलेगा यार. अभी अगर आप arithmetic कर रहे हो तो हमको answers चाहिए. You are still struggling, then come to us. But again, you need to understand that we can also help you till an extent. In the exam, I'm not with you. In the exam, it's you. That's why I've been telling you, don't see the videos. Pause, solve on your own. Because now you'll realize in the exam, you have to get an idea. Combined studies doesn't work. Because if I'm asking my doubt to him, that is his mind, not my mind. So start working on these certain areas. Just the beginning. We have around 18 or 20 more weekends to work on. Let's slowly keep on working on. Clear? Very soon we'll start workshops with you guys also. My plan is to quickly push you to the weekend batches for classes. And weekdays, I want to start workshops. So be mentally prepared. After 2 weeks, this is my mental plan. So 1 to 4 batch will move to weekend. Saturday, Sundays, we'll cover up geometry, algebra, chalta rahega. 5 classes a week, don't worry. 4 to 5 classes a week, you'll definitely have. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a space for us only to have workshops on weekdays. So my plan is to bring 3 workshops, 1 verbal, 1 LR and 1 quant, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 workshops on weekdays, push on Saturday, Sunday, and keep on practicing. Workshop because I want you to solve difficult questions with us. Pick up the approach. Verbal will have verbal RC improvement areas. We'll have RC workshops on genres. You'll have psychology-based RCs, politics-based RCs. We'll have those many classes. So the sooner we start, the more buffer we get to experiment on the workshops, which will eventually help you to score. So I repeat, guys, my target is simple. You feel that you deserve 70. let's try to help you to reach that 85, 90 level with the current preparation level, not what you have in your head, because there's always a mismatch. You think 99, but you're not putting efforts worth 99, 99 nahi aayega. Okay? So we are trying to see that how much can we facilitate your learning process. And our job is to add that 10 to 20 percentile jump, which you should be getting by our support. Clear? So be mentally prepared. This weekend we'll complete numbers. Next weekend we start geometry. So after that, preferably I'm trying to do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 workshops, and your classes get pushed to weekends. That will be our complete approach. Clear? Right? All the best, guys. And you won't have classes tomorrow and day after tomorrow. I guess you have on day after tomorrow. I'll just confirm. Please keep checking the group. Clear? Because today's class also, it was not mine. I just prepared this at 6 o'clock. I came at 6:25, entered your class. Because Pradi was not well. This is my 8th hour of class with 2 hours of traveling. I am up and running since 5 o'clock today without lying down even a single minute. Right? So Pradi had some emergency. So he had to cancel his class. I jumped in. So Pradi should be taking a class on Thursday or Friday. That will be verbal mock analysis. And you will be having this week's classes on next week. So I don't want to waste time on mock analysis. Next time you'll get a video in the online portal. Instead, let's use those 3 days to discuss workshops, new questions. That is the whole strategy, because 3 days we are wasting only to discuss mocks. Right? So we will record these videos. We'll upload those once you're done with the mock. That day itself, you analyze the mock paper. And instead of mock discussion, we have workshop discussion here in the class. Clear? All the best, guys. See you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh.